I'm Tom Shea. For the past 30 years, the Jesuits of St. Ignatius have been quietly preparing for a transition long in the making. That SI, like so many other Jesuit institutions, would be primarily run by laypersons. Every 6 years, each Jesuit school must open their doors to be assessed by a team of Jesuit leaders to ensure that Jesuit schools teach, maintain, and fulfill Jesuit education and its mission. This past year, the Provincial of Jesuits West, Father Sean Carroll, recertified St. Ignatius with a report that said, in part, one of the most important impressions that we are left with at the end of our visit is how clear it is that you love your students and how they know that you love them. Thank you for the ways you care for your students. It is not lost on them or their families. Construction of the new Learning Commons has begun, which will ensure that St. Ignatius will continue as a Jesuit institution well into the next century. The Jesuit recertification and their stamp of approval are more reasons why we can continue to say, we are SI.
Jesuit is being a person of discernment. Jesuit is being a person with dreams to make a difference in the world.
Ignatian is leadership, and Ignatian is reflecting the presence of God in the things that you do.
Jesuit education is grounded. Jesuit education is consoling.
I know people are fearful that there are not a lot of priests. I get that.
For more than 30 years, the Jesuits have been preparing lay people to take on this Jesuit mission and to live it.
You know, as somebody that's been blessed to be the last 50 years to be in Jesuit education, it's really been a blessing. I have seen more and more in our schools, the schools I've been at, and nationally, more and more lay people that also have been called to this vocation. And what we're doing is, in a way, helping them understand and be part of what they've chosen to be part of Jesuit education. It's been retreats for lay people, it's been seminars for lay people, it's been semester or year-long programs, which helps them more understand what this thing we call Jesuit education is.
I'm Megan Pryor-Lawrence. I'm the assistant principal for mission. We have many lay leaders who have had some of those same deeply formational experiences that Jesuits have had.
I'm Luke Hansen, and it's my 4th year at SI now. Before I came to SI, I worked at Xavier University as a chaplain in their university ministry program. For 16 years, I was a Jesuit. Had joined the Wisconsin province, which became the Midwest province. So I worked in a number of different Jesuit schools, or attended Jesuit schools as a student in that context. And then I was a graduate student at Santa Clara and at Loyola University Chicago and at the Gregorian University in Rome.
My name is Kelly Miggins. I'm the director of campus ministry, and I've been here 8 years. I oversee all of our programs and support our campus ministry. And so our primary role in campus ministry is to support the spiritual formation of all students.
Jesuit, Ignatius, Ignatian values, it's new for most of the students. But I like that because I feel like we have a common starting place and we can learn the story of St. Ignatius together, and we can learn about what inspired Ignatius and how that connects with the students' lives. And then we want students to make that a part of their life. So we do a number of exercises that invite them to think about what's important to me and what do I dream about, and is it just about my personal success, or can my life mean something more than that? And how is it connected to the world that we live in?
Something that I really love about SI when I first started here is that retreats are required for all students and faculty. I mean, that faculty are asked to be on a retreat, to me, is incredible formation for adults and for our students. It just really speaks to how highly we center our mission as an Ignatian institution. I feel really excited to share that most of I think all of our programming are student-led and student-centered.
The Jesuits have invited us, lay people, to live that same sort of mission, to embrace that spirituality in the same way, seeing the student as the pilgrim on the journey. While we might not have as many Jesuit priests as we once have, we have perhaps more than ever opportunities to gather and to pray. When I think about the opportunities for weekly prayer that happen, either over the PA in the morning or our weekly examen, with great depth, our students engage with questions of faith, even in just these little everyday touch points. And then Monday morning ministry is this incredibly meaningful way to gather and pray, but it's all student-led.
What's really great to see is each of our retreat program is kind of a stepping stone to Kairos. Our frost retreat to soft to junior, there are aspects of what happens on Kairos that's interwoven within the entire retreat curriculum. Kairos, I think, is the most Catholic and Ignatian thing we do at SI.
Social formation is really important as well, and that's why our Frost Retreat experience gives students an opportunity to connect with the city in a new way, to meet an organization that's like responding to one of the social needs in our city, which is food insecurity and the need for nutritious food and access to food. And students learn a little bit about that social issue, and then they get to be a part of a community organization's work and responding to it. That was really important for Ignatius. It's the type of training Jesuits receive to become more familiar with the world that we live in.
There are people at SI who have been trained to be lay leaders of the church. I feel very confident to say I've been educated and formed to be an Ignatian educator and leader, and I'm excited that I'm given the opportunity to be trusted to form our students in that tradition.
I've seen the way that the experience people have had at Jesuit institutions and from personal relationships with Jesuits has impacted their work, the way they show up as a teacher in the classroom, the way that they show up as an adult leader on a retreat, the way that they direct retreats at SI, maybe assist with examen or morning prayer. That formation is making a difference every day at SI, and it's exciting to see that.
And I'll tell you, I went to Loyola High School. I graduated in 1961. SI today is more Jesuit today than Loyola High was in 1961.